today is our Wisdom Wednesday, and something that I wanted to share with you guys about is, first off, how often do we say the phrase, I can't? Okay. Does anyone deal with ever saying, I can't? And if you have ever said that, chances are you are a human being, because guess what? We've all said it. At one point in time or another, we have all said, I can't. So, exactly, too often, right? Okay, so here's the thing. One of the things that I want to challenge you to do is, what if instead of saying, I can't, what if you instead said what it really means, which is, I am certainly not trying. Okay. Now, if we were to say, I certainly am not trying instead of I can't, then wouldn't that kind of put a different spin on things, as far as we might actually have to admit that we are trying to give ourselves an excuse rather than being truthful. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's being too scared to try, but there again, it goes back to, do you want it? Either way, you're going to be scared about something. I mean, can I get an amen on that? Either way, there's times that things are going to pop up that you're going to be scared about something. But that being said, God does not give us a spirit of fear. He doesn't. So even when we're scared to do something, when we're scared to try something, why are we allowing the devil that much control over our life? And that's exactly what we're doing when we say, I can't do that, or whatever. We're simply saying, in certain times, I'm too scared to try that. Okay. And what that means is that we are allowing the devil to have control over our life instead of allowing God to guide our path and actually going for the things that he gives us an opportunity to do. So the other thing that I can't typically is simply, it gives us an excuse not to try. Because if we were to try and we were to fail, then we might have to admit some sort of defeat. If we simply don't try, then in our mindset, well, we haven't failed. Well, you kind of did if you didn't even try, because guess what? The only surefire way to fail is, one, to never try it at all, or two, to give up. Okay, that's the only way that you can ever fail. Otherwise, what it is that you are learning is you are learning how to fail forward. You're learning what does work, what doesn't work, what you can do differently the next time. And so try learning from that instead. But how about this one for an ouch? I'm just saying, it's going to be an ouch. How about this one for an ouch? Instead of us saying, I can't, what if we were very real with ourselves and simply said, I'm making a decision not to? Okay, so so let's think about that for a minute. Whether it is your business, whether it is your life, whether it is, whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you are doing, if your mindset is, I can't, is it really that you can't, or is it simply that you are looking at things going, I'm making a decision not to do that? Because that's what it is. It's truly a decision to just say, I'm not going to do that. And whether it's out of fear, whether it's out of making excuses, whether it is whatever, I don't care what your reason is, but there's absolutely nothing that you can't get out there and do. Jenny says, keeping it real today. Amen, girl. Do you know me to run any other way? Thank you for those hearts, by the way. I truly appreciate that. For those of you on Instagram Live, there is a spot there on the side. You'll see a little heart. If you click that, it'll show some hearts there. So that just lets me know if y'all were there. But anyway, thank you for that. Look, see, my other daughter figured it out. She just went live for the first time on Instagram last night. So I was on her live feed, just harassing the daylights out of her. So, but I love her to pieces. That's why I do it. So, but yeah, so that is what I want to challenge you with today. Instead of the second that you find yourself wanting to say, I can't, consider, is it really that you can't, or is it really that you are just making a decision not to do something? And if you are going to make a decision not to do something, you have to be okay with whatever the results of that are, or whatever the lack of results are, if you will. So that is what I want to leave you with. I know that this has been a somewhat short scope, but before I go, there is one thing that I do want to ask, and this is going to kind of put y'all on the spot maybe a little bit. So here's what I want you to think about. Is there something that you know of that just recently, that maybe within the last week, 2 weeks, maybe the last month, whatever, that you were given the opportunity to do something and your first thought was, I can't? And if you had that, hey, Justin, y'all, if you are not following Justin Cap'n Pro, go follow him. Love, love, love Justin. So yes. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I want you to think about a time in your life where you sat there and said, I can't. And especially if it was something recently, would you be willing to put in the chat stream what that was? What was that one thing that you thought you couldn't do, so therefore you passed off on it? Now, if you don't want to actually put that particular thing in, if you don't want to be specific, that's okay. You don't have to be specific about it. But just put at least in the chat stream that yes, you have had something just within the course of the last couple weeks that you could look at, that someone gave you an opportunity, or maybe God put an opportunity in your path, and you said, I can't do that. And you didn't do it. Okay, so if that's happened to you within the last couple of weeks, if it's happened to you within the last couple of months, whatever, then go ahead and just put in the chat stream, yes. I'm waiting, because I'm sure somebody's done it. Because y'all, here's the thing. I can tell you that even myself, I've said I can't in the last couple of weeks. But here's the thing. All right, so I got one over here on Instagram that said yes. But here's the thing. It wasn't that I couldn't. It was that I was making a decision not to. Okay? I was making a decision not to. And here's the thing. If I'm going to make a decision to do something or not to do something, then I also have to accept responsibility for that. Correct? Right? So I have to accept the responsibility. Good morning, Myra. I have to accept that responsibility to say, you know what? I made the choice not to do that. That's something that really could have changed whatever. It could have changed the course of my day. It could have changed the course of my life. It could have changed the course of my business. Who knows? All right. But if I'm going out there saying, well, I can't do that, and truly I could have. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you for that. If you're putting yourself out there in that way and saying, I can't do something, take the opportunity to be very real with yourself and first ask, is it that you can't, or is it that you are making a decision not to? And therefore, you need to be okay with any results or lack of results that come from that decision. All right. The other thing is, ask yourself, are you truly just giving yourself an excuse not to try it? Are you just giving yourself an excuse to not have the opportunity to succeed? Okay. Because in not doing it, you're already giving yourself the opportunity to fail by not even trying. Okay. That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's failing by association. If you don't even attempt it, well, I mean, hello, like, you don't have a choice. If you don't attempt it, there's no way you can succeed because you didn't even attempt it. All right. So you have to look at that, and instead of saying, I can't, be willing to be very truthful with yourself and instead say, I certainly am not trying. And if you can live with that, if you can live with when those opportunities come up, and you can live with being able to say to yourself, I made a decision not to, I'm not trying it, I don't want to, whatever. If you can live with that, great. But if putting that spin on it makes that opportunity look a little bit different to you, and instead you're going, maybe I should consider it. Good morning. Maybe I should consider it. Maybe I should think about this. Then you might want to give that a shot. Okay. So that is what I'm going to leave y'all with. Now I got to try to figure out how to end all of these different things all at the same time. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Buffy Hood. I am a jeweler with Premier Designs Jewelry. I've been with them for almost 10 years. I use Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, etc. to be able to reach out to other people, not only in the industry, but also out to just everyone. All right. So if you'd like to follow me in any of those places, you can find me on Periscope at Buffy Hood. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Buffy the Jewelry Lady Hood. And you can also find me on YouTube under Buffy the Jewelry Lady Hood as well. Good morning, Myra. Thank you for that. All right. So I'm going to let y'all go. Thank you so much for that. Don't forget, tomorrow we will be back with our Truth Be Told Thursday. So that's where you get to ask me the who, the what, where, when, how, why of what I do in my business, to see if it perhaps can help you in some way in yours. Now, for our Instagram users, if it is strictly direct sales type stuff that we're talking about, I may or may not pop on. You guys will have to let me know if you would like me to do that, and then you can make a decision whether or not you're going to stick around for that broadcast. But for those of you on Periscope, you already know how I roll. You already know what I'm here for. So if there's any way that I can assist you, if you have some questions for me for tomorrow, and perhaps you're not going to be able to be there for the live feed, then just come on over to any of those different social medias and send me a message. Okay, send me a message of that question, and I will do my very best to make sure that it gets answered on our live stream. So then you can come back, watch the replay, all that kind of good stuff, and be able to get that question answered. And in the meantime, just think about some of those different questions you might have in terms of some different things. Jenny says, I'll see what I can come up with. Good girl. You do that for me. So don't forget, we are here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Just many prayers and blessings into your life, into your businesses, and into your day. Be blessed. We'll chat soon.